Hello, my name's Evan. I'm an occupational therapist with Mobility Rehab. A little bit about my background is I've been an occupational therapist for almost 8 years now. I've got experience in a variety of different settings, including acute care, outpatient rehab, hand therapy, inpatient rehab, and then now home health. The thing that made me transition to a home health position was the flexibility. Now that I have 2 little ones at home, I have a little bit more control over my schedule, and also the way that the pay structure works. I really appreciate something that the harder and more you work, you get rewarded for it, versus like an hourly wage where maybe you could see 16 patients in your 8-hour day at an outpatient clinic, but you're still only getting paid for 8 hours. So my first day at work was kind of broken down into a couple different things. It was mostly orientation at first, and I got to meet with several different folks with Mobility Rehab, including John and Marissa, and then I got to spend some time shadowing one of the physical therapists in the outpatient clinic, just to get a feel for how the workflow is. I have a nice smooth transition, so that way you're not just hitting the ground running on day one. And the team was really helpful with, helping me navigate, not just like how to do therapy type stuff, because you know that already, but all the little ins and outs of, the workflow, the job expectations, little tricks and tips that were really helpful along the way. Some things on the documentation system as well. So the onboarding process was fairly straightforward. It included a period of time where it was, graded, like gradually adding a little bit more to your plate each week, a little bit more responsibility. But at first it was, getting the lay of the land, so to say, meeting team members, knowing where things are, knowing who does what within the organization, and then also transitioning into doing some of the EMR training on Raintree and Aurora. So the orientation period is considered a ramp-up period. That's about 8 weeks long, and it's really designed to just start out with getting your feet wet, and then really not to overload you or stress you out during the first few weeks, and get used to the EMR. And like I said, getting to know other team members in the organization, what the roles and expectations are. And then as you move through that period of time, then you gradually start assuming more patients. I personally felt by week 4 to 6 that I was kind of ready to rock and roll with a full caseload. And I'm sure that may be different from person to person, but I think the team did such a good job at doing all the training that I felt very well prepared by that point in time. And then there's a transition after the 8-week ramp-up period to where you go from having your fixed pay to then your pay per visit. And that's really where the bread and butter of the job comes into play. So, at the end of 8 weeks, the expectation is that you get paid for each visit that you do, which is really nice in my opinion, because I'm a big believer, the harder you work, or if you want to see more or less patients, you should effectively be rewarded for the work that you're doing.